The Lunar Month Transition View was developed specifically for the reflector type. And this is because of the nature of their strategy and decision-making authority process. The authority for a reflector is ultimately the consensus that comes out of the entire month's movement of the moon. And thus reflectors at any point in terms of the moon's process can take on the clothing of any other type. And if you're making a decision when you have a lot of generator power or manifesting power as a reflector, well, that's likely to be a decision that has been driven by the conditioning of that moment. And thus we developed this particular calendar view to enable reflectors to see the whole month of how the moon is affecting their design and when the moon is affecting their design. I would also like to add here that this is of value for other types. Specifically, mental projectors have a lot of openness. Manifestors are very susceptible to the program, so it's always well worth seeing the impact of a channel on a particular day, just to make sure that you are not jumping on that conditioning. So as an overview of how this lunar transition month operates, I've selected a reflector design here. This is Sandra Bullock. Here is her design in terms of a foundation quantum view, and you can see the nature of a reflector. There's hanging gates everywhere looking for something on the other side. And thus a reflector needs to wait until the moon has connected to the opposite end of every one of those gates, which will happen during the entire month. The moon moves through approximately 2 gates every day, and at the end of the month, clearly for major decisions, a new job, a new partner, these kinds of major decisions, you must wait out this process, and there will be a moment where clarity emerges. And again, what is the intelligence at the root of that decision? What cognition is ultimately there inside? Well, it's always ultimately the brain, and the brain's tonal activation is the true intelligence behind a decision. So always be aware of that in your design. And clearly that will be like a rusty railway track overgrown with weeds if you're not following your body's determination. So here Sandra Bullock has a calm determination, so she needs to manipulate the environment around her to be calm, meaning that there's no emotionality, there's no enormous energy impacting her when she is eating. That will be detrimental in terms of the brain's ability then to synthesize the fuel from what she is eating in order to nourish the second tone of her brain. And it's very, very difficult to manipulate the environment if you're a fourth colour. You can't keep telling people to shut up whilst I'm eating. So the best thing you can really do as a calm determination is just eat alone. Then you don't have to worry about manipulating the environment. But going back to the lunar transition view, yes, on the face of it, it looks pretty complicated, but it's actually quite simple when you understand the details of it. So clearly you want to select the lunar transition month view from the drop-down list of calendar views, and then select the date that you want this for. Best to always stick to the first of the month, then you get the entire calendar month, but it's really up to you. I've selected the same year, month and day that we've used for the other calendar videos. This is the 1st of August 2027. Paying attention, of course, to the fact that this is human design. We want a tropical calculation method. You can select sidereal if you wish, but for the experiment of human design, always keep that on tropical. And I've used universal coordinated time here. You can select this for your local time zone if you wish. Then going through the format of this particular view, the first date is the day number in terms of the lunar transition. And the reason we've added this is because clearly the time it takes the moon to move completely around the mandala, the wheel, is 29.5 days. So the moon will touch all of the 64 gates in that 29.5 day period, running at about half a day, 0.46 to be exact, gates per day. Next here you have the actual calendar date, and I'm going to jump over the next one because it's really referential to this gate field that you see here. You'll see the 62 and it's coloured yellow. Now, to understand these various colours that we've selected, all you need to do is hover over the colour swatches you see just below the calendar there. Hover over the yellow and you can see it says, this is a gate activated by the transit of the moon. So the moon is in the 62nd gate on the 1st of August here. And this centre is telling you that the 62nd gate is in the throat centre. The harmonic to that 62nd gate is the 17th gate. If that was there, it would form the channel of acceptance. But you can see that the channel here is white. And that means that neither Sandra Bullock nor the transit has that 17th gate. So there is no channel activated there. If we move down to this 31... well, this is a gate in this person's foundation design. And I say gate or channel, if you're not a reflector, well, that may be an entire channel. If it's a reflector design, it's always going to be a gate. So we know that Sandra Bullock has the 31st gate. But again, the harmonic, the 7, the moon is not there on this day. So on the 1st of August, there are no channels created in Sandra Bullock's design. We need to move to the 2nd of August. Again, the yellow is a gate activated by the lunar transit on that day. The orange, well, we know now that Sandra Bullock does have the 31st gate, and when the moon moves into that harmonic 7, it's going to form a channel. So this is one of the Lunar Month Transition channels that is part of the authority process for Sandra Bullock. And this is why this channel is coloured green, because it's saying this is a channel created by the moon or the lunar transit. And the other information you see here, clearly the center is useful. This is the G or self center. The channel name is there. This is the channel of the alpha. This is a projected channel. PRO, projected. GEN, generated. MAN, manifested. Those are the 3 types of channels that could be created by the lunar transit. Then the circ is clearly standing for the circuit. So this is the logical understanding circuit. The gate name of the 7 here, this is the lunar gate, is the army. That's the classic I Ching name of that hexagram. And then we've given you the subtitle of that hexagram name. So this is the self, the 7th gate, in interaction. And finally, this ACT column is showing you whether it's a personality, a design, or a juxtaposed activation in the 31 in the foundation design of this person, Sandra Bullock. So this is saying this 31 is a personality activation. And don't confuse that with the lunar transition. It's nothing to do with that. The ACT is always referring to the orange colour, which is always a foundation gate for a reflector. So clearly looking at the channels created between the 1st and the 4th of August here, none of these are energized channels. They're either mental or identity channels. Sandra Bullock will need to wait until the 5th of August here to get the first energy channel that the moon's creating. And this clearly here is the channel of discovery. She has the 29 hanging out of her sacral center. And the moon is bringing the self-center 46, forming the channel of discovery, which is a generated channel in the abstract circuit or family. The gate name of the 46 is pushing upwards, the gate of determination. So this is a very valuable information view for reflectors. You can see when you're going to have full power energy, when there are manifesting channels, generated channels. These are days to take advantage of the prevailing conditioning, but not necessarily to, of course, make a decision, a major decision. Always wait out the full lunar 29.5 day transition of that particular month.